Hello, everyone. It is January 2021, and tomorrow is the beginning of the winter quarter at Drexel University. Welcome to the course, Philosophy 315 Engineering Ethics. My name is Daniel Toohey. I will be your teacher for this fully online course. This video is meant just as a introduction to the course, both in terms of how the course is set up, how we will proceed with the course, and getting to some degree into the themes of the course. Again, my name is Dan Toohey. I've been teaching engineering ethics at Drexel, I don't know how many years. And I particularly am approaching it, and I hope that I make that clear. And I hope that you really profit from this course. Teaching engineering ethics is actually one of my favorite things to do. I am not an engineering person at all. I am not scientifically inclined or mathematically inclined, certainly not typical engineering mind, but I like teaching engineering ethics. It is quite a treat to teach a course that is both a philosophy course and something which is immediately engaging and relevant to the students, and that is at least the ethical aspect of what you're doing as an engineer, at least one take on it. So if you go to the Blackboard site, and you should, because everything's there, you'll find there'll be announcements, the syllabus. Sorry, my connection's really slow tonight. We'll go through this a little bit. Course outline, we'll take a little bit of a look at that. And then you'll see that on the Blackboard site that the course is organized by week. And then if you click on the week, you'll see that there are readings. In this case, the first week, the reading is the National Society for Professional Engineers, NSPE, Code of Ethics, a little article about codes of ethics and asking whether they're useful. And all the materials are here. There's no book to buy. All the readings have been uploaded to the Blackboard site. Again, we will organize everything by week. For each week, there'll be readings. In this case, I'll be asking you to take a look at the NSPE Code of Ethics, which is a very important thing, I think, at least in my approach to engineering ethics, is the actual codes. As you know, there are many engineering societies, which is one of the problems with engineering, is that there are multiple engineering societies because there are different sorts of engineer. Each of them, or I think they all have their own code of ethics, but they're basically very similar. And I think the NSPE code is the best, I think. And also, as we'll see, the NSPE keeps up a very lively ethics discussion, and we'll be using the case studies from the vast repertoire of cases that the NSPE has accumulated over the decades, going back to the 1950s. But there's the first reading. So all the readings are up. And then you'll see that for each reading, there are videos that I've made. So there's been some videos on the code here. Just click on that and you should be brought to my YouTube channel where I upload all of my teaching videos. Again, sorry, things are slow right now on my little Chromebook. Yeah, you'll be brought to, the link should, takes you to a playlist of videos about the reading. So there'll be a reading, or a couple of readings here, some videos. Actually, here's some more. Here's some more readings, some Board of Ethical Review case studies. I'll maybe make a video just about what the BER is, but this is something that we'll use periodically throughout the course. These are actually case studies that have been produced by the NSPE Board of Ethical Review. They are not actual factual things. They're for teaching purposes, but case studies where different issues in engineering ethics come up. Right. So you'll get to know the Board of Ethical Review, the BER. So there's a lot of little readings for the first week. videos on them. And then study questions. And study questions are for every week. There'll be a set of study questions. And it's an ungraded assignment, but it is a requirement that you give a good faith answer to every question to get full credit for the assignment. And then there's a discussion board. This is all outlined in the syllabus. But yeah, so every week you'll see the same arrangement. Maybe I haven't put up all the materials yet, but readings, videos, discussion board, and there will be study questions. So I just need to put them up for every week as well. So that's the nitty gritty sort of week to week structure of the course. The only other thing, and I'll be sending out an announcement about it, is we will have one weekly live session every week. I know this course is supposed to be a synchronous course. I think that meeting 3 times a week would not be a good idea. I think it would be ridiculous, actually. We're going to meet once a week. And that meeting, and I'll be sending out announcements to this effect, will be every Monday at 5 o'clock from 5 to 5:50. We'll have a live online session. Again, I'll be emailing you out the details of that. I'm still working. I don't know what. I mean, I'll let you know. But we will be having a live session one way or another every Monday at 5 p.m. I figure it's class time, so you've got that free. Mondays at 5 to 5:50. We'll use that session to review the week before. So we're not going to have a session this week. The first session will be January 18th at 5 p.m. and we'll talk about the work that you guys did this week. I'll be taking things from the discussion board and different work that people did, and it'll be kind of a review of what you guys did. So yeah. If you look at the syllabus, this is all self-explanatory. There's a course description, and then the requirements, the discussion board, and what you need to do there. Study questions. There'll be a final exam for the course. And there are 2 essays, 2 mid-length, so 4-page, 1,000-word essays that will be required, one on each of the 2 parts of the course. That will be the mandatory live session every Monday, and this is how I will determine grades. This is the number of points available, and your grade will be determined out of how many points out of the available, 58 points that you score. Shouldn't be that hard. I mean, you get 9 points for the discussion board and 9 points for the study questions just by doing it. You get your essays worth 10 points apiece, and there's a final exam, comprehensive final exam, covering everything we read at the end of the course. And I'll be talking more about these things as they come up, but this is just a preliminary thing. If you go to the course outline, you get a sense of how I approach the course, which is more important. It's what you'll actually be doing. I've been teaching engineering ethics for many years now, and it wasn't until I began to approach it as a course in professional ethics that I really felt like I had some idea of what I was doing. And so that's what I've stuck with. This is a course in professional ethics. We are not assuming that it's absolutely decided that engineering truly is a profession, but that is a question that we will be asking. It's a philosophical question that we will be asking about engineering, whether it actually qualifies as a profession. But I will actually be approaching the course as a course in professional ethics. So we will be guided a lot by the NSPE Code of Ethics, which is a code of ethics for all engineers, not just PEs. But the idea is that engineering, even if you're not a PE, you are a member of the engineering profession, and therefore you're a professional. That is, if you're actually practicing engineering, you are by definition a professional because you're a member of the engineering profession. And the PE is something that obviously has great importance in an individual engineer's career, but you don't become a professional when and if you get your license. But these are all things we'll be talking about. But I'm approaching it as a course in professional ethics. So the first part of the course, engineering as a profession, really looks at that, the idea of a profession in general, because, of course, that's a wider thing than engineering. We have doctors and lawyers and clergymen, the military and social work, all this sort of different jobs that have been at one time or another given the title of being a profession, especially law and medicine, which are the sort of paradigm professions. That engineering, in this sort of strained way, is trying to emulate. But we'll be looking at the idea of profession in general, the idea of professional ethics in general, and then the specific problems of whether engineering is a profession, the history of engineering, and especially the question of licensure. Obviously, this week 4 having to do with the industrial exemption, which you may or not be familiar with it, but you will be. The engineering has its history, especially a specific history in America with regard to licensing and with regard to regulation. There's a lot of ambivalence within engineering about whether people want even to be considered as a profession, because, of course, that brings along a host of responsibilities. But that's what we'll be looking at, the general idea of engineering as a profession and the ethical issues associated with that. Second part of the course, weeks 5 through 9. This will be a 9-week course because of all of our crazy problems in the world. Too bad we've truncated the course, because that extra week would have been nice. I'll be looking at the first and fourth canons of the NSPE code. The first canon has to do with, is a principle having to do with the engineer's duty to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public. And the fourth canon has to do with the engineer's responsibility to their client and or employer. And that is, as we'll see, is a very, very important distinction between clients and employers. Brings up all sorts of questions. So the first canon is the heart and soul of engineering ethics. It's the, as you'll see, it's the engineer's duty to protect the public. And it is the most important principle in engineering ethics, and we will spend 3 weeks looking at different aspects of it by reading essays and looking at BER cases, Board of Ethical Review cases that actually have to do with the first canon. Then we'll spend a couple weeks at the end looking at, more specifically, at the fourth canon and the problems that it entails in terms of how it reflects on whether or not engineering is or could even be a profession. There's all sorts of issues. We'll have gone into them, especially in week 4. The issues of, can you be a professional if you are also an employee of a company? That is, if you're a wage-earning, salaried employee, can you also be a professional? That may not, on the face of it, seem like a problem or a contradiction to you now, but surely as you read more and learn more about the classical notion of a profession and being a professional, you will see that that creates tension having to do with responsibility and conflict of interest, and whether engineers have enough autonomy to actually be professionals, and we'll discuss that. So it really is just an introduction to what I consider to be some of the broadest and some of the root issues involved in engineering as a profession. But if you want to get more of a sense of what the course is about, just start clicking through the different weeks. Take a look at the readings. And you'll get a definite sense. But that's more or less what we'll do. That's about it. I'll be sending out regular announcements. I'll be sending out lots and lots of videos that I make in response to your work, reviewing what's happening on the discussion board. The discussion board is not something that I will participate in. I mean, what would I say? But if you click on the discussion board, you'll see that there is no prompt. There's nothing. I don't ask a question. I don't try to structure it. Just create it, start posting. All you can do is to post your thoughts. Post a substantive response to the week's materials, to the week's readings. And all you need to do is to also post a thoughtful response to another student's post, and that's all you need to do to get full credit. What I do is, at the end of the week, I read through it, and I make a little PowerPoint, and I either will send out a video or we'll look at it in our live session, depending on how I I feel like going about it, but I don't actually participate in the discussion board. I don't find that useful for anybody. But I read it all, and I make I do a review that I share with you of everything. So that's the course. As far as me, you can get in touch with me either through my email or by calling me on my cell. Don't try to contact me through the Blackboard site, or I don't even know how to do that. Just email me directly or call me. Again, all the readings are up on the site. There's nothing you need to get. Read the course description, look at the requirements. Make sure, we'll have our first live session on January 18th, so you don't need to worry about that now. And again, as far as what software we'll be using, whether it'll be Zoom or some Blackboard proprietary meetings, I don't know. We'll figure it out. These things are pretty much, I hope they're idiot proof because, not too good at this stuff, but I've held Zoom sessions and other sorts of, Google Hang, whatever. I mean, I can do it. Anybody can do it. So I look forward to the discussions we'll have. I mean, I think it's really an important course. And I want to, let you know that I do think it is an important course for engineers to take. I am very glad, not just because it's my living, although I teach at different schools. I'm an adjunct here at Drexel. I teach all sorts of philosophy classes, but not only because it's my living, but because I really do think that engineers probably are professionals and definitely need to do some kind of ethical preparation for entering into that profession. As we'll see, that's the whole point of requiring professional ethics in the training of doctors, lawyers, engineers, and others. So I really do think it's an important, really a rite of passage at Drexel for engineering students to go through engineering ethics. It's a very good thing. It's maybe the one time in your career where you're reflecting on what it means, at least ethically speaking, to be an engineer. I'm sure that you'll be doing that all of your career, but this is really focused on that. So I really do think it can be a very valuable and important course for you.